Today we're going to be talking about how you can get more play time as a football player. We're going to be going over 5 key mistakes that all football players make that will prevent them from getting more play time. Now, mistake number 1 that will limit your play time, fellas, is being an excuse player. So what do I mean by an excuse player? I mean by a guy, anytime that a coach coaches you up, anytime that he tells you something, you have a reason why behind it. So like, hey, I need you to do this, this, and this. And if your first response is to get defensive and be like, oh, well, the receiver did this and this player did this and that's why I did this, that's not going to have you sit well with coaches, fellas. What you have to honestly do is just take responsibility. Coaches will notice if it really truly wasn't your fault in the long term. If a coach gets on you, he corrects a mistake, it should just be yes sir, no sir, I will fix it. Don't be that guy that gives a reason for everything that you do, because it's only going to piss a coach off and he's going to think of you as a player who likes to make excuses. Now also, fellas, if you're a football player and you're looking to gain weight this off season, check out that very first link in the description below for our AG Labs Whey Protein Powder. This is one of the best protein powders on the market for athletes to gain weight. This is a supplement company that I own with my brother. We made a line of supplements specifically for athletes to help them with strength gain, weight gain, and athletic performance. So if you use the promo code FIRST25, FIRST25 at checkout, very first link in the description below, you get 25% off any one of our protein flavors. It's some of the best tasting protein on the market, you guys. We have cookies and cream. This is our salted caramel frappuccino flavor. We have chocolate peanut butter brownie, and then we also have cinnamon snickerdoodle. So guys, very first link in that description below, we'd love to get you on our protein. Now the next mistake that football players will make and why they don't get a lot of play time is they make the same mistake twice. Your goal, fellas, is that if a coach gets on you about doing something incorrect, you should be like, okay, I'm not going to do that again. That's how you get better. That's how you improve. You should never be afraid to fail. You should never be afraid to make mistakes at practice when it comes to physical things. I think mental mistakes should really never happen. That's just kind of the standard that I hold myself to and hold the players that I coach to, but you're going to make physical mistakes. It's going to happen. Let's say you're a quarterback, you're going to throw an interception. Just make sure you don't throw that exact same interception the exact same way a second time, because all that's going to do is piss off a coach, and coaches get very, very upset. Like, see, in my business, like, I'm a trainer, right? My job is to tell athletes things over and over and over again until they can't forget it, because they're learning a new skill. But if you're a coach for a team and you're trying to win games and your sole purpose is to win games to keep your job, like, you don't want to have to repeat things over and over again. You want to tell a player one thing, one time, that's it. And they get very, very upset and very, very irritated when they have to keep repeating themselves, because they want to focus on winning and focus on performance of the team. So just make sure, guys, you're not making that same mistake twice and over again. Now, the next thing that I think so many athletes do that really bothers me is that they will miss practice. And I'm telling you right now, your best trait is availability especially when you're competing for a job, or especially when like your play time is kind of up in the air. Like, let's say you're a sophomore in high school, fellas, and you want to play on varsity, but you're missing practice because you have this appointment or you're sick or this. Like, I get it, you know, like if you're like on your deathbed and you like can't physically move and maybe you can't go to practice, honestly, I would recommend you still try. Like, even if you can't go to practice, tell the coach, hey, I want to be there. Let him tell you to stay at home, but at least showing that effort that you want to be there is a great way to get in his good graces. But you should never miss practice. Like, that's part of playing football. Like, I'm sorry, like in the summer vacations with your family, like, I get it. Maybe some of you don't have a say, but like if you're committed to playing football and you're committed to your like football career, if you will, you should never miss practice. Missing practice is something you should never do. That's the easiest way to find yourself on the bottom of the depth chart. At least for the high school that I played at, fellas, if you missed even a day of practice, if you were like first string and you missed a day, you got bumped down to third string and you had to earn your way back up to first string. Now, did some players earn their way back up faster than others? Yes, that's just the way football works sometimes. But some players never got back from that. So you cannot miss practice. It's one of the biggest mistakes that players will make that limit their play time. Now, the next mistake that athletes will make, and again, I mentioned this earlier, is not knowing their plays. I think, guys, when it comes down to playbook, when it comes down to your assignments, all that is repetition. It's just like studying for, you know, like a test in school. Like, what do? You have a test coming up on Friday. They tell you about the test on Tuesday. So what do? Wednesday, Thursday night, you're going over note cards, you're writing things down, you're reviewing, you're studying. That's how you have to treat your playbook on the field, you guys. There's literally no excuse, like literally zero excuse for you to not know your plays and not know your assignments. So I think a lot of times when somebody's in a position battle, like I see this all the time at the quarterback position, right? Like, I train a lot of quarterbacks, and a lot of quarterbacks come to me and be like, coach, coach, well, I'm not playing, I'm not getting as much playtime as I want. They're looking at this other guy, and I ask them, like, how well do you know your playbook? And they're like, oh, I'm kind of okay on it. That's unacceptable, you guys. You can't just be kind of okay on your plays. You need to know your playbook like the back of your hand, because coaches need to be able to trust you with those assignments on the field. And if they can't trust you, they're not going to put you out there. So make sure you know your playbook, fellas. All it is repetition and time management. Now, fellas, if you are a football player and you are looking to get recruited, we just developed a website called First Down Coaching, where we have a list of over 500 different college coaches and their Twitter accounts, their Twitter handles or their X handles on the website, so you can easily reach out and contact them from our website. So if you guys would like to connect with college coaches, get your film in front of them, and more likely give you like a chance to get recruited to play at the next level, check out that second link in the description below. That'll take you to our First Down Coaching new website. Now, the next mistake that football players love to make every single year is trying to cram all of their off-season training into the month of July. And I'm telling you this right now, like, I get it if you play multiple sports. If you play multiple sports, you still should be training football throughout the year. I think people need to give football the respect that it deserves. If you're playing at a lower division school and maybe you're just naturally gifted, that's one thing, hey, I guess. But I feel like football is one of those sports that needs to be trained year-round if you want to get better at your respective position. Like, I work with quarterbacks and receivers mainly. Those positions are very, very technical, especially the quarterback position, right? You guys should see my phone in the July 1st, because generally when does practice start for most people? August 1st. So my phone from maybe December to July is when it's busy. That's when a lot of people are reaching out for training, for camps, etc., right? And so for the people that reach out in December and January and train consistently through the off season, those are the people that I would classify as those are my clients that I train, those are people that I work with, those are people that I'm heavily bought into, right? And then I got a lot of people who reach out in July, 2 weeks before their training camp starts, and be like, hey, I need to improve my throwing motion, or hey, I got to get better route running. It's like, we don't have enough time. That's just the fact of the matter, the way it is. So right now when you're watching this video, we posted this video in January, coming up on February. So you need to make sure you're taking care of business right now. Every day you need to be working on your skills. You need to be working on your speed. You need to be working in the gym multiple times a week to take care of business for the upcoming season. You have to be consistent, and people need to give the respect football deserves from a work ethic standpoint. So guys, don't just try to cram your training in the month of July. Take the time. Put yourself in a good position when August 1st rolls around, that you've done the body of work needed to compete with everybody and get more play time.